Welcome to the Care Sis Podcast with me, Ki and Kiki.
Join two friends for a conversation around self-care in real life. We'll talk about anything on the spectrum from bubble baths to setting boundaries to managing friendships and more.
As your sisters, we also just want to provide a weekly check-in. You know, like big sis asking little sis, sis, you good? So come on in, sis. Let's talk about how we can take better care of ourselves.
Hey, Ki.
What's up, Kiki?
How are you?
Girl, listen. I'm good, actually. I'm actually really good.
I thought you were about to get into something.
I know. I tricked you. I fooled you.
Good. How was your week?
My week was really good. That's why I'm in a good mood. It was really good. Got some good news. I ate good, exercised. I was on my game this week with my exercise and meditated a couple times too. It was a good week, which is hilarious considering what we're going to talk about today, but we'll get there in a minute.
Hilarious.
Well, quite the contrast from what we finna talk about.
Yeah, quite. All right, so I guess
how was your week?
Yes, my week was good. Following up from last week, I've been trying to drink my water. I've been moving more.
How many bottles of water you drank today?
I drank 3 whole bottles. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh my God, that is nothing. But to me, it is everything, okay? Because y'all know how hard it is for me to pick up water right now. And I've been moving a little more. So like while I'm working from home, I try to take my breaks more often and get on my mat and move a little bit. It ain't much. I stay for about 5 minutes and then I get back to work. So I'm proud of myself. And I went for a couple walks this week too. So I'm proud of myself.
The weather here has been great in the afternoon. It was funny. I think it was like Tuesday morning. I got up to go to the gym. Listen, I had on my hat, my sweatshirt, my scarf. I was bundled up. By the time I came out the gym, so this was roughly 2 hours later, because, you know, we was laughing, joking, whatever. So roughly 2 hours later, I was like, woo! And I had to come out of the scarf, and I have one of those like sweater vest thingy, not sweater vest. Anyway, I had to come out of that in my scarf and whatever. I mean, yeah. Girl, by that afternoon, I was outside taking a walk with the t-shirt on. I'm like, this weather is, I can't say it's bipolar, but she going through some things, Mother Nature is. Like, I'm ready for her to just come through. Come through, sis. Come through with spring.
I know. That's what I'm waiting for, because she on something right now. But I was loving it. I'm loving this weather. I love it. I can't stand being cold.
Oh my God, no. The breakup she going through was a little hard, but it looked like sis is about to prevail. I'm
hoping so. Or we're hoping so.
She about to come on.
We're manifesting it. Manifesting it, all right?
Manifesting it. I was talking to my line sister, and she said March for her is money March. So this is money March. Well, we were talking about manifesting. So this is money March. This is manifesting March. And she's manifesting money. And I'm just manifesting all the things. I need all the things.
The full package. We need all of the things.
So, you know what we're going to talk about today?
What are we going to talk about?
Okay, so you know how, like, you went through it, I've been going through it, and I won't even say went. You've been going through it, I've been going through it. Several of my friends have been going through it, my coworkers. All of us are just in this space. We're just like, ugh, right? We're not sad. We're not overly sad. So nobody's like really depressed. Nobody's hella happy. People are just kind of like, ugh.
Just in a state of like, blah. We don't know what this is. It's just this state of blah.
Right. Y'all, we found a name for the term. We was doing some researching for y'all, and we done found the whole thingy. Languishing. The whole thingy. It's called languishing. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So as you said, we've all been going through it these past 2 years, and this whole Pandora has been something else. Like, we have gone through so much collective trauma, anxiety, and panic, because we're all afraid of catching this whole virus that has left us in a Panama Canal. So we have all been taking precautions and just wearing our masks, getting vaccinated, and just trying to stay safe. And honestly, that hasn't been enough to completely ease our fears. We've experienced losses all across the board, like young to old, all of our friends and family. It's so much that we've been through in these last 2 years. And of course, having to quarantine and just kind of stay away from people. It's kind of left us like in this state of blah, like, what is going on and when is this going to end?
Yeah. And it's not quite hopelessness, but it's definitely like, when is this going to be over? Like, I remember in the fall, everybody was feeling good come the fall. Like, I know my family, we all got together for Thanksgiving. People were getting together. Yeah, but right after Thanksgiving, it was like COVID said, knock, knock, I'm still here. I'm still here. I got your sweatshirt still. Look, I got stuff in the drawer. I'm still here. So I know that a lot of people had, especially like around that Christmas time, around my folks, y'all, people was getting together for Christmas and New Year's, and then people was coming back with the vid. So
it was really bad after this last round of holidays. It was really bad.
Yeah, everybody on my job, because I had the vid last year, and then I got my shots and my boosters. So the Lord spared me. But yeah, if people on my job, like, we just legit,
yeah, it
was crazy. It was crazy. But like stuff like that, right? We finally get together, and then everybody gets sick. And like, that's freaking depressing.
It is.
But it's not just your social life, it's your work life too. Because figure, on your job, our economy is still, it's hella fragile, right? And so like our jobs, first of all, jobs are made up of people. So you got people that are in this languishing, and those people are your managers, your CEOs, your executive directors, your coworkers. And so it's making work a lot less fun. And first of all, work sucks anyway. Most people's work sucks anyway. And then this languishing that a lot of people are going through is making work harder. So there's that. And then everybody wants to come up, right? Like, people, even with the best jobs, are just like, what else is out there for me? So companies are fragile too, because you're losing CEOs, you're losing people. I have a girlfriend that her husband, okay, I honestly don't know what he does, but I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, he's been so unhappy on his job. He was just ready to up and quit. But his job loves him so much. They were just like, we'll give you anything. And he was like, bet, I want my position to be remote from now on. And they're leaving the DMV area and moving down to be closer to me. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So they're moving down to North Carolina, and he's just going to work remote for as long as he's with the company. And so companies are unstable. And then you got the rest of the economy. Gas is ridiculous. House prices are ridiculous. Y'all, I'm gonna be renting until I move out of the country. Like, I'm really feeling this now. I'm gonna be renting until I move out of the country, because these prices are astronomical. And are they gonna come down? Who knows?
No.
No, these salaries ain't going up though. Can we talk about that? No, we're gonna talk about that in another episode. These salaries ain't coming down. So anyway, everybody's just feeling like, like the hands up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I just did, y'all. Just threw my hands up. But so it's called languishing. And languishing is a coined term by sociologist Corey Keyes. Go Corey, go Corey, go Corey.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Okay. Languishing is the concept that you are failing to make progress or you're failing to be successful. So it's right there in the middle. It's not like you're not overly excited, not overly happy. You don't have a ton of great days. You got some good days. Don't get it twisted. But you don't have like, you're not in that feeling of like joy and euphoria.
Right.
And you're not depressed. Like nobody's around here like, even Kiki's not crying, y'all. Like that's huge.
You're right.
She ain't crying. So, we all in the middle here. And so it's on the spectrum of mental health. Or mental health, I'm sorry, that is looked at on a spectrum. And so you have depression and flourishing, and languishing falls right in the middle.
Yeah, so flourishing is kind of the peak of our well-being. So think of you're at the top of your game. Your mental health is A+. It's a strong sense of meaning, of mastery, and mattering to others. And this is according to the New York Times article. And depression is actually the valley of ill-being. So, of course, flourishing is the high point, depression is the low point. So that means you're despondent, drained, and worthless. And we're kind of in the middle, not quite in the valley, not quite at the mountaintop, just kind of coasting.
Yeah. And languishing isn't like one emotion, right? It's the series of emotions. It's you have your highs, it's you have your lows, and then you have your periods where you just feel like, bleh. Once again, I'm throwing up my hands.
Dramatic effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So does it actually fall on the spectrum? Kind of, sort of, but not really. Because most of the time, you don't really show those symptoms of mental illness, but you're not really functioning at your full capacity. So, like you said, it's a series of emotions, and we're just kind of there on the spectrum, or off, or on and off.
We light switching up in this joint.
So how does that look for you, Ki? Languishing in your life?
So again, I work in like social justice, community engagement, democracy, right? And one thing you hear a lot is you hear corporations and companies be like, oh, COVID did this. And you're like, nah, bruh, this was bad before COVID got here. And so a lot of things like, for example, anyway, so we tend to say that COVID just brought out the weaknesses in organizations or departments or whatever, definitely our government, right? It just highlights their weaknesses. And I will say COVID has done the same thing with me. And that's where I am with languishing. I am self-diagnosing at this moment. So all my therapist people, please don't yell at me. But I sincerely think I have ADD, right? My younger brother, he had and was diagnosed with ADD as a child, right? So looking at him, I was just like, oh, I don't have ADD. Then I came across this article about ADD in women, and it manifests different. And I had like 7 of the 10 symptoms. Yep. And they've come full circle, or they've manifested themselves since COVID. But the biggest one is my lack of attention. Like, I don't give a shit about most things, like, honestly. My attention span, oh my God. Don't send me long videos. Don't send me long articles. Don't I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to watch them. I'm just not. I don't have it. And so maybe I don't have ADD. Maybe I'm just languishing. I don't know. This is probably why I should go to the therapist. I'm going. But yeah, I have no attention span. And it is hard for me to be present and in the moment. I find, I'm gonna go ahead and admit it, I'm a bad yogi. I have a hard time meditating. I admitted it. I said it out loud. I have tried, one of my homies, he does a 30-day meditation where, you just increase your time little by little. Never fails. After about day 5, I tap out. And I've tried it 3 different times with him during the pandemic. And literally after day 5, I tap out. I can't do it. I just don't have that focus and attention span. It's hard for me to stay present anywhere. When I'm exercising, when I'm doing yoga, I'll be on the phone with friends. I'm watching I feel like I feel like I've become the queen, quote unquote, air quotes, of multitasking. Yet I'm not sufficiently paying attention to shit. So yeah,
that's usually what happens when you're multitasking. That's another episode for another day.
You hush your mouth. I used to be good at multitasking.
I love you, Ki.
It's the COVID. But I found an article on Languishing too that I didn't have to pay for. Thank you, New York Times. But I found an article in Very Well Minds, and they were talking about languishing. And this girl gives an example. And one of the quotes, she says, mentally, I haven't necessarily felt good or bad, but I'm definitely not as present as I used to be. And this lack of focus can make every task much more draining than before. And if that isn't me in a nutshell, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, everything just seems like a task now, y'all. Like, ugh. And it first started with yoga. Like, when I stopped teaching yoga last year after the studio closed, like, yeah, so it's been rough. But that's my languishing. Tell me about your experience, Ki.
Oh, I feel like it was like a domino effect of things. So of course, during the beginning, when all of this first started, we started working from home, like, completely. So that means it's just me. I live by myself. So other than me actually going out to do something, I ain't got no human interaction at home. But that plus not going to the yoga studio because they actually closed and went to virtual right away. So not actually going to the yoga studio. And also I was teaching at a pole studio. So I was going to the yoga studio and pole studio. I wasn't teaching pole, I was teaching yoga at the pole studio. But I did take pole classes. I love pole. But that actually stopped as well because can't teach pole at home because nobody got poles. So I taught a few classes for them online, and then it kind of stopped. And then later on throughout the pandemic, they closed that pole studio completely. So now I don't have any extracurricular activities to go to. So this has made my schedule a lot lighter, but I don't think that was a good thing because I love to do other stuff. So all of this just kind of came down at once. And so you're like, I have nowhere to go. I don't really want to go anywhere because I'm still kind of in this space of anxiety of, I don't want to catch anything, so I'm going to stay home. So it was kind of that whole, a combination of everything happening at one time. Now, I did go to Greece last year. That was my one trip out the country with my mask the whole time because I wasn't trying to go and catch nothing and bring nothing back home.
I just heard my mama just then. I did.
You said what?
I just heard my mama just then. Mm-hmm.
What would your mama
Go out
say?
there and catch that and bring it back. Like, I heard my mother.
I mean, it's truth. But yeah, I've just been, and then kind of being stagnant in the job and not really being motivated to do anything. That's kind of the space that I was in. And I'm still in that space kind of. So I'm kind of weighing my options and seeing what I need to do different this year. Do I need to move on to another job, or do I need to stay here and try something different? I don't know. But we're going to figure that out.
To new jobs anyway, but I am also biased.
Why are you biased?
Oh, because back to my attention span thing, I can't stay in a place very long. Like, y'all might get a good 5 years out of me, but then I'm gonna be like, what else can I do?
Girl, 5. This is the longest I ever been at any company, and it's been a little over 5 years, but I give them about 2.
That's a long time. Like, what else is there to do? Huh?
I give them about 2 years, and then I'm trying to figure out what I need to do next, or if I need somewhere that's gonna give me more money.
Yeah. Like, y'all gotta know I'm not gonna stay. I was gonna tell y'all, we always as a culture be like, check on your mom friends, I'm not okay, or check on your friends with kids, you know, which I really need to check on your single friends, because this is real. Like, we've been in these houses alone. Now I just go bug my parents like every day. That's what I do. My parents are retired, I bug them every day. But that also gave me a sense of guilt, because I was like, yo, like, I don't want to go out and then bring something back to my parents.
Right.
So when I go out, or if I go out and be social, I gotta come home and I like self-quarantine for like 3 days. So then that's 3 days in isolation. And the introvert in me does not mind that.
Right.
It's the extrovert to be trying to get out sometimes, and then the introvert be like, we told you was gonna regret that. That's a whole nother battle. But yeah, it's sad because we're not around people. And then like working from home, again, I love working from home, I really do. But I'll look up and it's been like 3 days and I'll be like, damn, I ain't left the house. I gotta find somewhere to go just to get out the house.
Right.
Yeah, check on your single friends.
I will say that I kind of make it a point to get out the house at least one point a day. I don't care if I just drive around. Gotta get out, get some air, and then come back in.
Bless
but
you.
I'm like you. I'm like you. I'm an introvert. I don't really mind being in the house for a couple of days. Doesn't really bother me. And then, like you said, the extrovert tries to peek out sometimes, and I'm like,
she's always getting us in trouble.
Is it the same person? Goodness.
I don't know. I don't know, but we got to get a handle on them.
All right.
So what can help?
What can help? So I'm going off of the New York Times article, and I'll put that there if y'all want to pay for it and watch that and read that article. Yeah. And we'll also link Ki's article as well. But there was something that was called flow, and that is the elusive state of absorption in a meaningful challenge or a momentary bond where your sense of time, place, and self melts away. So think about your flow of things, finding new challenges, finding enjoyable experiences, and also having meaningful work. And it also says that you can give yourself uninterrupted time or create boundaries. So maybe the article gave an example of setting aside maybe a couple hours each day where you have uninterrupted work. So maybe from like 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Uninterrupted, no phones, no music, any kind of distractions, and just go ahead and do whatever work you need to get done. So those are your boundaries.
Sounds like torture. Go ahead.
And then they also say that you can focus on a small goal. And I think that was one of the things that actually helped me, is because I had small things that I wanted to work on, small projects, whether it's for my business or personal projects. And those are the things that I actually worked into my schedule. So I have something to look forward to, and I wouldn't be like in that state of blah all the time.
Yeah. The goal thing is really weird because like I am a goal getter. Like I'm a to-do list person. And by goal getter, don't get it twisted. I'm not out here like, oh, I want to save 50,000 this year and I'm going to do what I can. No, no, no. But I do mean like I will like I'm a to-do list girl, right? I have a to-do list and I want to accomplish my list. But I took this amazing training this week. And she was saying the problem with to-do list people is there's no time associated with it. So my to-do list, I may look at it and be like, this is gonna take me 5 minutes. And so I put it off all day and then forget to do it. And I'm guilty of that. So uh, yeah. When we say small goals, we mean small.
No.
Super tiny. Like tiny. Like yeah. That time block thing is really cool. As much as it does sound like torture for me to work interrupted for an entire hour. Whew,
Maybe that's your time block though. It doesn't have to be that full 4 hours, but like 45 minutes, 15-minute break, another 45 minutes, 15-minute break. Could help with productivity.
That sounds good. Mm-hmm.
I know. It sounds good, but in theory, doesn't really happen.
The answer is no.
I actually had a friend who does this method where he does tasks in 25-minute increments. So 25 minutes, and then he switches to something else. So it's like he has multiple things to do, but each thing he's only gonna work on it for 25 minutes. I have to figure out what the name of that, and we'll have to talk about that in another episode. But yeah, just throwing that out there.
I might try that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. So I found a few things in regards to coping with languishing. And the first would be take time off when possible. Listen, this one wants to make me get up and shout like I'm in a Pentecostal church, okay? Take time off when possible, right? These jobs, they don't give a shit about you. They really don't. They don't. They like if something happened to you and you can't come back to work, if you become disabled or heaven forbid you meet your demise, they gonna give it a hot couple hours before your job is on LinkedIn. That's all I'm gonna say. So take time whenever possible.
Take your time off. If you got a week, take that week off. I don't care if you take it off at one day at a time. Take it off.
Take it off.
You got 2 weeks. Take it off. Take all the vacation days they give you. If you got mental health days,
take it off. Take time off. Take time off. Okay. We're moving on. Give yourself permission to enjoy. If I didn't shout on the first point, I'm shouting on this one. Give yourself permission to enjoy. However, y'all, you gotta be okay. So you gotta be careful when it comes to giving yourself permission to enjoy the cakes and the cookies, because I may or may not have developed a sweet tooth over said pandemic because I was giving myself permission to enjoy the sweets. That's a whole nother conversation. But do give yourself permission to enjoy things. So take, for example, you do decide to go out with the girls, right? Give yourself that opportunity to enjoy yourself while you're there. Girl, splurge for the bottomless mimosa, okay? Splurge, enjoy. Listen, get the bacon bits on the top. You hear me, friend? Get the bacon bits on the top. And that mimosa, make it the one with the alcohol in it, with the vodka in it. Give yourself, okay, all right. I'm getting excited.
Sure get enough alcohol.
Do the brunch, friends. Do it. If it's reading, give yourself that time to read. If you need to be uninterrupted, I will ignore you. But if you need that time to be interrupted, give yourself, like, block off that hour, turn all the things off, lock the kids away, whatever it is that you need to do. Whatever it is that you need. But give yourself that space to enjoy, and there's no regrets to it. Next is change your scenery. This has helped me a lot with work because, again, I work from home. So I have my little workspace set up. And then the seasons changed. And so like I wasn't getting a lot of sunlight in my space. So I had to move it. So now I'm just comfortable. About every couple of days, I might move my workspace and I'm okay with it. I changed my scenery so I can stay focused. And now that it's getting warmer, I might go outside for 5 minutes because I'm allergic to the state of North Carolina. So it's going to be for about 5 minutes while my allergies are okay. But I'm going to change my scenery and I'm going to go outside. But y'all, if you work from home, you can try one of those workspaces. You know, those buildings and places where people rent to just go to work. You can try
the
that.
co-working spaces. Yeah, the co-working spaces.
Yeah. If you're comfortable, you can do your coffee houses. You can do wherever you're comfortable, because I don't know your work style. I could probably work well in a coffee house. For some people, that's way too distracting. I was also going to suggest your mall's food court. You already got lunch there, but I'm on a budget. So, stay my butt. My house just changed my scenery.
Also, if you don't want to work in a different space, if you feel like your home space is a comfortable space, just get out during lunch, take a walk, go somewhere else, and then come back. And that'll help you to reset your mind and give you a little boost of energy for the rest of the day.
Maybe that's why I feel so good. I've done that more than once this week where I worked out in the middle of the day. Maybe that's it. Interesting. We'll keep you posted. And then lastly, look into therapy. So if you need a good therapist, I do believe the website is psychology.com, and that'll find therapists in your area. And then there's another website for Black therapists, and I cannot remember.
Therapy for Black girls?
Okay, but what about the guys? Okay. My therapist friends is about to cuss me slam out. Y'all forgive me, because I don't remember the website. But there are a couple different ways. And hey, if you got that good old work insurance, use your deck. No, I'm just kidding. If you got that good old work insurance, whatever you're connected to, they will also have mental health resources. So find your therapist.
Right. Okay,
so who do you know that's been going through languishing? Or have you yourself been going through languishing? I'm listening. Because of the podcast, I'm listening. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Reach out to your friends. You know what I mean? This is one of those things. I know that there are some people in their friendships, so just like, long as I talk to you every now and then, I'm good. I know you're okay. I'm one of those friends you should probably check up on, because I be going through some things. I be going through the motions. Check on your friends, because again, with the languishing, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You want to make sure that your friends aren't having too many of those bad days. So check on your friends, especially your single friends, especially your friends that work from home. Check on them.
Yes, check on them. And if you are experiencing feelings of languishing, I suggest journaling. If you don't know how to tell other people what you're feeling, and you don't know how to like express it to other people, journaling might be a good way to just write it down and leave it on the paper. But also just recognizing what it is a step in the right direction. Like you said, if you need help, therapy is available. Talk to your friends, check on your friends. Just make sure that we're all good. We're all in community with one another, and we all need each other. So make sure your friends are good.
Yeah. And if you really need somebody to talk to, you can always reach out to me and Kiki on the Take Care Sis podcast. You can DM us. And we will also, we can also try to help you find the resources you may need. We will definitely remember and find out the websites of finding therapists, and we will let you know. We will put it
Put it in the show notes. How about that?
What she said, show notes. We're gonna put it out there for y'all. We're gonna put it out there for y'all. But no, in all seriousness, if you need somebody to talk to, please DM us. We can chit chat. We can chat it up. And again, you will find us and be able to DM us on Take Care Sis Podcast on Instagram and the Facebooks.
And where can they find you?
And you can find me on Instagram at yoga_with_Ki, Or you can find me on my lovely website, Yoga with Ki, no spaces, dot space. So it's Yoga with Ki dot space, no spaces. And where can they find you, Kiki?
You can find me on most social media platforms as this Curvy Yogi, and that is curvy with an I, not a Y. You go with the Y, you can find somebody else. It ain't me. Or you can contact me on my website, thiscurvyyogi.com. That's where you can find all my class schedules. If you want private 101s, you can set that up there. Memberships, all of those things, you can find those there. And also, before we go, y'all, please tell your friends about this podcast. Share this podcast. Share this podcast on social media or wherever, in your group chats, wherever. Share them with your friends so that you can share these episodes with them and talk about it. This is a conversation, not just with us, but with everyone. We're a community.
Yo, y'all should be talking about this at work, for real. I recognize, like, again, I told y'all I'm not good at advocating for myself. I said it. But I realized I have mentioned my podcast at work this week so many times because there's so many people that are like going through the struggle. And I'm just like, y'all need to like really engage in some serious self-care. I got this podcast and I was just like, wait, I said it. So yeah, I've mentioned it several times this week. So if I can mention it, you can mention it. So mention it.
If you see her face, you know she's serious. Mention it. Okay?
We gotta go.
We gotta go. But sis, I want you to take care.
Sis, I want you to take care.
Yes, I will. And we will talk to y'all next week. Bye.